Sometimes we can be surrounded by people and still feel lonely. One of the loneliest times of my life was when I lived in China, one of the most densely populated countries in the world. It wasn't that there weren't people around me. It was just that there weren't people around me that made me feel understood. And I mean more than just the fact that they literally didn't understand me because we were speaking different languages, but the fact that they didn't understand the biggest part of me, my relationship with the one true God. In the best of times, life can be lonely for young adults. These years are identity-forming years. We're discovering who we are in Christ and determining our personal identity as it relates to the world around us. And as we do this, the culture of the world around us is pushing against our Christian identity. It creates this incredible loneliness for Christian teens when the culture around them is telling them that they need to be accepting of everyone without exception, yet their personal devotion to God doesn't seem to be accepted by many. For this reason, Christian friendships are incredibly significant for young people. Psychologists have noted that in these years of adolescence, friendships are perceived to be the most important relationship in one's life. If you're a young person watching this, I don't have to tell you how COVID has impacted these relationships. Unless you go to the same school and are in the same bubble, or you're related, many of you have been physically separated from your friends for longer than you ever even imagined was possible. Some of you started college and university this year, and you struggled with the idea of being in different cities, but you were comforted by the fact that you would see each other on weekends and holidays. Then all of a sudden, even seeing each other on these days off was no longer an option. Our young people have been kept from relationships that they deem to be the most important in their lives. And so an overwhelming loneliness is the result. It's the result of not being able to connect with other Christians who not only accept their identity in Christ, but encourage it. It's the result of being distanced from fellow Christians who understand their devotion and their surrender. This overwhelming loneliness is the result of trying to form their identity alone, which is something that they were never intended to do. Proverbs 18 verse 1 says, "Whoever isolates himself seeks his own desire. He breaks out against all sound judgment." It is so important during this time to reach out to others. And trust me, I know, I've heard you all say it, and I've said it a time or two myself. Oh, I just wish someone would reach out to me. I get it. For some, it's more natural to reach out to other people. And for others, it takes a self-motivating speech to work up the nerve to send a text or approach someone. We've all gone through these lonely seasons of our lives, myself included. There have been times when my season of loneliness brought me to my knees as I desperately prayed to God to send me a friend, someone to connect with, someone to lean on, someone to lift up in return. Ecclesiastes 4 verses 9 to 10 says, "Two are better than one, because they have a good reward for their toil. For if they fall, one will lift up his fellow. But woe to him who is alone when he falls and has not another to lift him up." This is God's principle. So that means it's his desire for us. Reach out and be intentional about your relationships. Do not allow yourself to get separated from your youth group or your church. If you do not currently have a strong Christian friend, pray for God to direct you to the right people. Through every lonely season, I have learned to depend on the faithfulness of God. There have been times when I felt like David in the Bible, who even though he felt alone, he knew God was with him. In the Bible, when David felt incredibly alone as he was stuck inside a cave, which might be comparable to some of you who are stuck in your bedroom all day, he cried out to God and he said, "Look and see, there is no one at my right hand. No one is concerned for me. I have no refuge. No one cares for my life. I cry to you, Lord. I say, you are my refuge, my portion in the land of the living." He knew that his feeling of loneliness did not change the fact that God was there. God was with him. God would never forsake him. Sometimes in our loneliness, we must allow ourselves to find comfort in the presence of our ever-faithful God. Never lose hold of your relationship with the one who never leaves you and never forsakes you. God bless you.